Hey guys, this is Robin. So in this video, I'm going to give you a few tips to create a design subscription service with many requests. So first, we're going to go to settings, and then we're going to modules and extensions, and then we'll select billing, and we're going to connect our Stripe account. So this is going to enable you to process payments. So here I've already connected my Stripe account, but you can also, if you want, enable manual payments in case you want to receive payments by Wise, for example. You can then put your details here. You can also manage the taxes here if you create the different sales tax, and you can also change the currency. This is especially helpful if you want to, for example, have currencies in Canadian dollars and US dollars. Just go back there, and then you can just change the currency and have multiple services. Once you've done that, go to services, and then here, basically, we're going to create subscription service. So click on create service, and then choose here recurring. And then in the next step, we're going to call it design subscription. We're going to add a description and also add an image. So we're going to add this one. And then once that's uploaded, you can click on next. And then the next step is basically to add the different pricing details. So here you have three choices: standard, time-based, and credit-based. We'll make other videos for time-based and credit, but for now, here in standard, we'll put the price as well as the recurring period. If you want to have multiple periods, you can also add it here. You can add another one. For example, if you want to have like $10,000 per year, you can just add it here. And then you can add multiple periods here. You can also enable a trial period. So for example, if you want to create a free trial for 7 days, you can just put 0 here and then 7 days. And you can also limit the number of active tasks. So here we're going to add 1 active task at a time for this plan. And then once you click on next, the next step is to customize a request form. So this is the form that your customers will see once they click on create task. So you have a bunch of options, and you can add more options when you click on add items. And if you want, you can also add conditions. So that's helpful if you want to have basically conditional logic in the form. And so this is going to help you create a little bit more dynamic forms. Once you're ready, click on save. And then what this will do, this will generate a link that you can then add to your website. And then basically customers can go ahead, purchase the service. This will create them an account. They will receive an email with their where they can basically activate their account, and they can start submitting requests. So here I've used a really easy checkout form where I don't even require the complete address. You can, if you want, have better or like more complex forms just in the settings. So here they can choose between monthly or annually. They can put their credit card details, and then they can start a trial. Here they can see the length of the trial as well as the future payments. So let's go back to the view, and what we're going to do now is going to test this service. So once you go here to users, clients, what I recommend you to do is basically to add the service to a client. So here we have this client, and so once we open this client, we can see all of the services that they have previously purchased. So here, after you create the service, you can click on new service or subscription. You can add the service you have created, and then this service will appear here. So if they do the checkout, if they complete the checkout, this will be added automatically, of course, and then they can start submitting requests. A bunch of other things you can see here, the members of that organizations. So that's all of your clients' team member. They can invite them themselves, or you can also add members on behalf of your clients. And you can also see all of the tasks, invoices, files, and so on. So what we're going to do now is to see the client view. So we are going to click here on the 3 dots and click on impersonate. And what this will basically do, this will log us in as a client and show us exactly that view for the specific client. So here, there's the first step. So this is basically a welcome screen that you can customize. So for example, if you want to show a video or a few steps on how to use the client portal, you can add it here. And then we also see the task of this client. So to create a task, the client just click on create task. And here you see they are subscribed to this service. They can add a title, a description, and an attachment. And so once they create a task, basically the task is added to the dashboard. Here they've also already reached the number of maximum active tasks. So this task is being added to the queue here. here at the bottom of the queue, and they can also reprioritize the tasks. So for example, if they have like a task that they don't want to do anymore, they can just drag it down here, and they can also drag the task up and down. So that's really helpful. We have also different views. So for example, we have the Kanban view as well as the list view, which is just basically different user experience for the client. So a bunch of different things as well that are helpful to know is that every time there is an update on a request, this sends an email notification to the client, and the client can reply directly to those emails. Also, any files that have been added to the request, they are added in task here. So now I'm going to give you an overview of the team view and also how it works to add details and comments in the request and everything. So we're going back here, leaving the impersonation mode, and we're going to go to team. And then here, we're going to impersonate this team member. And so the next step here, we see basically all of the requests for that specific team member. We can also group those requests by client. So this team member knows exactly which request to do for each specific client here. So we're going to open, for example, this request. And so in the requests, you can see here the discussion as well as internal comments whenever somebody changes the status, the ratings, and here we can also see the brief of the request. So for example, the references that the client has given and so on. Your team member can also change who is assigned to the request, change the status, the priority, and so on. The files are added here. And we also have checklists, which are basically subtasks and timesheets, but you can disable them if you don't need them. So once we go back to activity, here I've added an image. What we also have is the design annotation feature, so you can just comment on the design like this, and then you can also mark the comments as resolved once you have basically done the updates. So yeah, that's it for the request. Now let's go back to the admin view, and I'm going to give you a few tips on how to manage your design subscription service more effectively. So the first tip that is super helpful is to automatically assign team members to some clients. So that way, whenever the client submits a request, the request is automatically assigned to that specific team member, and you don't have to every time manually assign the request. So to do that, you go here and you can, in Account Manager, add a team member. Another feature that I also really like in the client view is the announcement feature. So that's helpful if you want, for example, to announce when you are on holiday or when you are off. And so basically you can just add announcements here, and then this will send an email, but this will also display in the dashboard who is assigned, like what's going on and when you will be back from holiday, for example. So another one is the message feature. So for example, your clients might have questions such as what happens to their subscription and everything. So you can just add here different message, and again, this will send a notification to the client, and they can go ahead and receive it via email or in their portal. So yeah, that was it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us.